What's up, you guys? Welcome back to this week's Manga Sutra Manga review, and in this week's video, we're going to be talking about a comedy slice of life manga called Gokushufudou, or The Way of the House Husband. Now, the manga follows our main character, Tatsu, who is notoriously known as the Immortal Tatsu. This guy is known for single-handedly decimating an enemy gang with nothing more than a lead pipe, splitting open most of the gang members' skulls. Now, this is the past. This is former Yakuza member Tatsu. Tatsu is currently a house husband. He takes joy in cooking, cleaning, shopping for deals and sales, and basically doing arts and crafts. Now, don't get it twisted. Tatsu did not lose a beat in this conversion from Yakuza to house husband. He is still that guy. He still has the muscles, he still has the suit, he still has the scar, he still has the imposing look about him and the imposing nature that he carries naturally. He didn't lose any of that in this conversion. But the thing is, Tatsu has completely renounced the Yakuza way of life. But we do see in his day-to-day activities and how he handles certain situations that he does bring over some Yakuza-like principles and tendencies. When other people mess up, he takes responsibility for it. When a doll or a figurine is destroyed, he buries it like he's burying a body. When he's cleaning up stains or getting rid of stains, he's acting like he's eliminating evidence. And the thing is, Tatsu is just naturally intimidating. When he and his wife go shopping for food or groceries, she wants to get junk food, he doesn't want her to. They get into a little argument. People at the mall don't even believe the idea that they're dating or that they're married. So they think that this is just this random Yakuza dude starting trouble with this normal girl. And she has to pull him aside and tell him, you are physically intimidating. You scare people. And his reaction to it is just so freaking funny because he does not believe it. He's in utter denial. He's just like, me? No, people smile. Like, no, people like me. I can't be threatening. Then he comes to the realization that he is. And they go through this whole montage of him trying on different clothes and all this ridiculous outfits. And his wife comes to the realization that no matter what Tatsu wears, he's still physically threatening. Like, he's still scary as fuck. And it's like, sometimes it's not even just the way Tatsu looks. It's the way he says things. Like, he was supposed to babysit this child. And he looks at the kid. And he's like, do you want to play a game? And the kid is just like, and he's like, I made you some food. And then he shows him some cookies. And then, you know, it's like these cute little cat or dog-like cookies. And then the kid tries them. And these cookies are amazing. And that's the thing with Tatsu. That's the thing about this entire manga with Tatsu. Like, the dude seems physically threatening in the way he gestures, the way he talks, the way he looks, the way he acts, the way he moves. But the thing is, his intentions are relatively pure and they're relatively harmless. Like, the dude is an amazing cook. And, you know, people, when they see Tatsu, they just think, oh man, this guy's up to no good. He's gonna commit, like, violence or something. He's gonna assault somebody. And then, you know, Tatsu just pulls out something harmless. Like, there was some gangsters trying to harass these vendors at this market, and they were demanding that the vendors pay them some fee for selling items in their area. Tatsu is like, the vendors don't need to pay you nothing. And then the gangster's like, well, they have to pay something. And Tatsu tells them to meet him somewhere else, and they do. Tatsu pulls out some cute looking blender, some cute looking peeler, and a rubber duck. And the gangsters, you know, one of the gangsters is thinking, he's going to peel our skin from our bones. He's going to blend us up. And then he's going to drown us in the ocean. And, you know, they just kind of just fainted at that. And the thing was, Tatsu was even thinking about any of that. He was just trying to sell his items away from the other vendors. And it's just, like, sometimes things that Tatsu does, because he's Tatsu, it's just 100 times more threatening than if somebody else did it. If somebody else did it, you wouldn't take them serious. If Tatsu did it, you take notice of it, no matter how stupid or ridiculous it is. But the manga also has its good points. You know, everybody's afraid of Tatsu at some point. Kids, other gangsters, his wife's parents. You know, it's funny. But another thing that I like about the plot is that we see that Tatsu's Yakuza past isn't exactly completely buried. We see a former Yakuza brother of his basically try to get in contact with him and try to figure out why he left, and is trying to get him back into that lifestyle. And when Tatsu's just like, I abandoned all that, he's just like, what the fuck? Like, why did you abandon the Yakuza lifestyle to become a house husband? And when he sees that Tatsu didn't lose anything, he didn't lose any masculinity. The guy is still strong. The guy is still physically imposing. The guy is still threatening. And when he sees that, if anything, Tatsu's gotten even more serious about things. That he is 100% serious about being a house husband. He takes it completely seriously. When some former enemies of his interrupt him getting some good deal at a store, he gets absolutely pissed with them and tells them that, you know, bargain hunting isn't a fucking kiddies game. And, you know, he was very imposing. He was yelling at them like he was their dad. You know, he was just going in on them. And I think, you know, some people are starting to understand that Tatsu, just because he left the Yakuza, it didn't make him any softer. You know, it didn't make him any less of a badass. Like, he's still that badass. He just doesn't have to use violence to get it across. There are several situations where Tatsu could have used violence in situations, where Tatsu was forced into violent situations, and Tatsu resolved the situations peacefully. And the way he did it, it was just very scary, and I love that. Other than, you know, his Yakuza past coming back every now and then, and people being afraid of him, we do have a couple of chapters and a couple of moments throughout the manga where things are just completely wholesome. Things are just where it's just not about Tatsu completely. You know, that there's tennis matches with other gangsters, and, you know, you have people at restaurants. You know, you have Tatsu talking to restaurant vendors about how to cook food and connecting over that. You have all these good moments between Tatsu and other people, and it's a really good manga. It's a really good manga. Art style wise, the manga's strong point is when it focuses on Tatsu, and when it focuses on his appearance and his reaction and his demeanor. And the other strong points that it has is people's facial reactions to Tatsu. That is the most funniest part of the manga. The weak points, I'd say, is when it tries to draw other people, or when it tries to focus on other people's appearance, because it just seems like Tatsu is what the manga's truly focused on. That's the character that they're focused on putting a lot of detail in. They have the scar, the suit, everything. Everything about Tatsu is in heavy detail, but when it comes to other characters, they're a little bit more lighter on detail. The plot, I don't know, man. This is the funniest manga that I've read so far this entire summer. And plot-wise, I would really like to know how Tatsu managed to leave the Yakuza and become a house husband. Why he would do that. And what type of woman is his wife for him to go that far? Like, how did they meet? What was their relationship like at the beginning? We've only gotten little panels here and there of the person Tatsu was before, but we didn't get the in-between. We didn't get the point where he left. We didn't get the point where he met her. We didn't get the point of what they were like when they first started dating, or, you know, any of those past flashbacks. But I think we're going to get that in later chapters, but it's just one of those mysteries in the manga so far that I'm waiting to see. This is VM. I heavily recommend that you read The Way of the House Husband. It's a good manga. It's a funny manga. If you pass it up, you're stupid.